We're diving into Japan's next fighter jet, and some are calling it UFO-like.
UFO-like, huh?
I mean, who wouldn't be intrigued by that?
Right.
We're talking next-level tech international intrigue, the whole shebang.
Definitely sounds intriguing.
So buckle up, because we're about to break it all down.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this is a cool one for sure.
So joining me today is an expert in aerospace technology and defense and all things cutting edge.
Happy to be here.
To help us unpack this, I guess you could call it a phenomenon.
Yeah, for sure.
That is Japan's foray into the 6th generation of fighter jets.
Definitely a hot topic.
So we've been digging through this article titled, Japan's Revolutionary 6th Generation Fighter Jet Stuns the Aviation World.
Catchy title.
It is, and let me tell you, it's packed with juicy detail.
Lots to unpack.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty,
Sure.
maybe you can just give us like a high-level overview of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, definitely. So we're talking about the Mitsubishi F-X. Yeah, that's the designation.
Okay.
It's Japan's answer to the call for, 6th generation fighter technology.
6th generation. So this is like next level.
Oh yeah, this is the bleeding edge of what's possible in air combat today.
Wow.
And it's really turning heads. I mean, it's got everyone in the defense community talking.
I can imagine.
Some are even saying it's a game changer.
Really? Okay, so just to kind of put this into context.
Yeah.
Japan's no stranger to aerospace technology.
No, not at all. They've got a long and impressive history in that field.
But this seems like a pretty big leap even for them.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, you got to go back to like the early 2000s.
Okay.
When the U.S. decided not to export the F-22 Raptor.
Oh, right. The Raptor.
That's a big deal.
Huge.
You kind of forced Japan to really focus on developing their own 5th generation fighter.
Right, which was the
Mitsubishi F2.
The F2. Okay.
So the FX is kind of like the sequel to that.
I see.
The next chapter in their evolution of fighter jet technology.
So it's building on that legacy, but taking it to a whole other level.
Exactly. And they're not doing it alone this time.
Oh, right. The article mentioned some collaboration.
Yeah, they've teamed up with the UK and Italy.
UK and Italy.
Yeah, to form the Global Combat Air Program, or GCAP.
GCAP.
Okay, it's a pretty big deal.
So why the team effort this time around?
Well, I think they realized that in today's world, going it alone isn't always the smartest approach.
Makes sense.
Especially with something as complex and as expensive as a 6th generation fighter jet.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge undertaking.
So what are they bringing to the table, so to speak?
Well, it's kind of like assembling a dream team of fighter jet development.
Oh, I like that.
You've got the UK bringing their expertise in things like flight controls and stealth coding.
Okay.
Italy's known for their radar systems and their expertise in network-centric warfare. And Japan is leading the charge when it comes to things like stealth materials, cutting-edge avionics, electronic warfare systems.
So they're kind of each like specialists in their own right?
Yeah.
Coming together to create this like super fighter jet.
That's the idea.
Wow. Okay, so I'm getting a sense of the scale of this project.
Yeah.
But what exactly are they building here? What are some of the mind-blowing features that the article was talking about?
Oh, man. Where do we even begin?
I know, right? It's like a laundry list of futuristic technology.
It really is. First of all, we're talking about stealth capabilities that are like nothing we've seen before.
Okay.
This jet is designed to be practically invisible to radar.
Invisible.
That's the goal.
How do they even do that?
Well, they're using these advanced materials.
Okay.
And the shape of the jet itself is designed to deflect radar signals.
Wow.
They're even exploring active camouflage technology, which is like straight out of science fiction.
Active camouflage.
Yeah, like imagine a fighter jet that can essentially blend in with the sky.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
So it's like a ghost plane.
Pretty much. And that's just the beginning.
There's more.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even touched on the AI.
The AI, right? The article mentioned that.
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
The FX is being designed with artificial intelligence at its core.
So it's not just like automated systems.
No. It's way beyond that.
Okay.
We're talking about AI that can actively assist the pilot in combat.
Assist? How so?
Well, think of it like having a super smart co-pilot.
Okay.
Who can analyze situations in real time and help the pilot make split-second decisions.
So it's like a tactical advisor.
Exactly, and a really, really good one.
Wow.
And on top of that, they're incorporating the concept of autonomous drone wingmen.
Hold on, drone wingmen? Did I hear that right?
Right.
Like little robot buddies flying alongside the jet?
Pretty much.
Is this in real life?
It's the future of air combat.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
I know it's a lot to take in.
So we've got a super stealthy jet AI assistance drone wingmen. What else is in this futuristic arsenal?
Well, they're also packing some serious heat.
Oh, okay.
We're talking hypersonic missiles.
Hypersonic missiles.
Yeah, the ones that travel like 5 times the speed of sound.
And they're just casually throwing that in there?
Oh, yeah, and laser weapon systems.
Laser weapons? Is this even allowed?
It's the reality of modern warfare, and Japan is at the forefront of these advancements.
So it's like they're building an impenetrable flying fortress.
It's definitely pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible in aerial combat.
I'm starting to understand why people are comparing it to a UFO.
Yeah, it's definitely out there.
And we haven't even touched on the avionics and sensor fusion.
Oh, man, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
It is. I mean, the article was talking about like 360-degree sensor systems and data fusion.
Yeah, it's all about situational awareness.
Okay.
Giving the pilot as much information as possible.
So it's like having eyes everywhere, even in the back of your head.
Exactly. And all of this information is displayed to the pilot through a helmet-mounted display.
So they can see everything that's happening around them.
Yeah, it's like seeing through the aircraft itself.
That's wild.
It's a level of sensory input that's almost overwhelming to imagine.
I can only imagine.
And then there's the engine.
Right, the engine. What's so special about the engine?
Well, it's not your average jet engine.
Okay.
They're developing something called an adaptive cycle engine,
Adaptive cycle engine.
which can adjust its power output on the fly.
What does that even mean?
So it can switch between modes for speed or fuel efficiency.
So it's like a hybrid car, but for fighter jets.
That's a good analogy.
That's incredible.
It means the F-X can stay in the air longer, cover more ground, without needing to refuel as often,
Wow.
and quickly transition between high-speed combat maneuvers and fuel-saving cruise mode.
That's game-changing.
It really is.
Okay, I'm officially mind-blown. This is seriously next-level stuff.
Yeah, and we've only just scratched the surface.
There's more.
Oh yeah, the real question is, what does all of this cutting-edge technology mean for Japan's place in the world?
Right.
What were the implications for international relations and the future of aerial warfare?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
That's what we'll be digging into next.
All right, I need a minute to process all of this.
Take your time.
This is a lot,
It is.
but I'm ready for more.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into the geopolitical side of things.
Let's dive in.
All right, my brain is officially buzzing after that tech rundown. It's like we peeked into a sci-fi movie for a minute there.
I know, right? It's hard to wrap your head around all of that.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about why this matters on a larger scale.
Okay, yeah, let's zoom out a little.
We've got this incredible fighter jet in the making, but what's the bigger picture?
Right. That's the key question, isn't it?
I mean, beyond just the cool factor,
Yeah.
what are the geopolitical implications of all of this?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. The F-X isn't just a technological marvel. It's a sign of Japan stepping onto the global stage in a whole new way.
The article definitely highlighted some tension, especially with China's growing presence in the region.
Oh yeah, that's a huge factor.
And their own advancements in military tech.
Exactly. China's been making some serious moves in recent years.
So how does the FX fit into that equation?
Well, you could say it's partly a response to that shifting balance of power,
Okay,
particularly in the Asia-Pacific region.
so it's a bit of a power play, like, hey, we're here and we're a force to be reckoned with.
There's definitely an element of that, but it's not just about rivalry.
Okay, what else is there?
It's also about ensuring stability in a region that's becoming increasingly volatile.
Right, it's a delicate balance.
Japan sees the FX as a way to maintain a credible deterrent and protect its interests.
It's like that old saying, speak softly and carry a big stick, except in this case, the stick is a hypersonic AI-powered stealth fighter jet.
Pretty much. And it's a pretty big stick.
No kidding, but it goes beyond just China, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this project also puts Japan in a position to potentially challenge the traditional dominance of the US and Russia in advanced fighter technology.
That's a good point.
The article did mention the US is working on their own 6th-generation fighter, the NGAD program,
Right.
and Russia's got the Su-57, which hasn't exactly lived up to the hype.
Yeah, it's been a bit of disappointment so far.
So is Japan aiming to be the top dog in the fighter jet world?
Well, they're certainly not shying away from the competition.
I mean, it's a bold move.
It is. They're no longer content with simply following the lead of others.
They're investing heavily in innovation
They are.
and collaborating with key partners to become a leader in this field.
And that has implications that reach far beyond just military strength.
Right. We're talking about economic impacts.
Huge economic impacts.
Technological advancements that could spill over into other industries.
Absolutely.
Maybe even a shift in how countries approach international cooperation.
You're hitting on all the key points.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
Starting with the economic angle.
All right. Japan's pouring over $48 billion into the F-X program.
It's a massive investment.
That's a lot of yen.
It is one of their most expensive military projects ever.
So what kind of economic impact are we talking about here?
Well, think about the ripple effect this will have on Japan's aerospace industry.
Okay.
It's a huge investment in research and development, manufacturing, job creation.
Yeah.
We're talking engineers, software developers, materials, scientists, the whole supply chain.
It's creating a whole ecosystem.
This project is going to be a huge engine for economic growth.
And it also helps Japan become more self-sufficient in terms of defense, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point.
They won't have to rely on other countries as much for their military equipment.
Exactly. The F-X is as much about strategic autonomy as it is about military might.
It's like they're saying, we can build our own high-tech weaponry, thank you very much.
Pretty much, but it goes beyond just self-sufficiency.
Okay.
There's also the technological spillover effect, right? The advancements in areas like hypersonic, flight adaptive, cycle engines, and AI.
Those breakthroughs have the potential to revolutionize other industries.
Like what?
Well, imagine if the tech they develop for the F-X's engine ends up making commercial airplanes more fuel efficient.
That would be huge.
Or if the AI systems find applications in healthcare or transportation.
It's like a chain reaction of innovation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of these kinds of ambitious projects.
So it's not just about building a better fighter jet, it's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and creating a ripple effect of innovation.
And that ripple effect could touch all aspects of our lives.
But let's not forget about the international collaboration aspect of all of this.
Right, the GCAP partnership.
Japan, the UK, and Italy working together.
It's a pretty unique situation.
It is. We haven't seen this level of cooperation on a defense project of this scale in a long time.
And they seem to be making it work.
Each country bringing their A game to the table.
Yeah, it's a good example of what can be achieved when countries pool their resources and expertise.
So could this be a sign of things to come?
Maybe.
Like a new era of international cooperation?
It's an intriguing possibility.
Especially in the face of complex global challenges.
The kind of challenges that no single nation can solve on their own.
So maybe the F-X is more than just a fighter jet.
Maybe it's a symbol of a future where countries work together to achieve goals that benefit everyone.
That's a hopeful thought.
It is. But there are also some important questions to consider.
Okay. Like what?
Especially about the ethics of increasingly autonomous weapon systems.
Right, the whole drone wingman thing.
It's cool, but it also raises some tricky questions.
About who's making decisions in warfare.
Yeah, and the potential consequences of taking humans out of the loop.
Those are definitely conversations we need to be having.
As this technology continues to evolve.
The F-X is a glimpse into the future of warfare.
And it's both exciting and a bit daunting.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure.
But before we dive into those ethical considerations,
Okay.
let's talk about the timeline.
All right. When can we actually expect to see this UFO-like fighter jet take to the skies?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why of the F-X.
We've gone pretty deep.
We have.
Lots of info.
Now let's talk about the when.
The timeline, right?
The article laid out a roadmap, but it all feels a bit futuristic, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely ambitious, but they're actually moving at a pretty aggressive pace.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're aiming to finalize the design and start building the first prototypes this year.
This year?
Yeah, 2025.
Wow, that's sooner than I expected.
It's not wasting any time.
I can already picture those sleek, stealthy lines.
I know, right? It's going to be a sight to behold.
And they're planning to unveil that first prototype in 2027.
That's the plan.
Followed by a series of flight tests.
Got to put it through its paces.
That's only a couple of years away.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
I can't wait to see actual footage of this thing in action.
Me neither. It's going to be amazing.
And by 2030, they want to have the AI combat assistance fully integrated.
That's a big milestone.
That's what really sets the F-X apart from anything that's come before.
Yeah, it's not just a plane, it's a flying AI platform.
Then in 2032, they'll be putting the finishing touches on the weapons systems and the electronic warfare suite.
Yeah, getting it ready for prime time.
So by that point, it'll be a fully armed and operational flying supercomputer.
Pretty much.
And then the big moment, by 2035, they're aiming to start full-scale production.
That's when things really ramp up.
So we're looking at about a decade before this game changer hits the skies officially.
Yeah, give or take a few years.
That feels both close and far away at the same time.
It does, doesn't it?
But considering the sheer complexity of this project, it's a remarkably fast timeline.
They're definitely moving quickly.
Okay, so let's fast forward to 2035.
Right.
The F-X is ready to roll, literally.
Ready for action.
What happens then? How does it fit into Japan's defense strategy?
Well, the plan is to gradually phase out their older fighter jets like the F-2s and the aging F-15Js
Okay.
and replace them with the F-X.
So a whole new generation of fighter jets guarding Japan's skies.
Exactly. It'll become the backbone of their air defense system.
And it's not just about solo missions, right?
No, the F-X is designed to integrate seamlessly with the U.S. and NATO forces.
So it's all about interoperability.
Yeah, enhancing their combined capabilities.
A united front in the face of any potential threats.
Exactly. Strength in numbers.
Wow, this has been quite a journey.
It's been a whirlwind.
We started with a UFO-like fighter jet explored cutting-edge technology, dove into geopolitics and international relations, and even touched on the ethics of AI.
We covered a lot of ground.
It's been a lot to process.
I know my head's still spinning.
Mine too. So what's the final word for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future is coming at us fast.
It is.
And it's going to be filled with incredible technology like the F-X.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right?
No, there are some serious challenges ahead.
Especially when it comes to the ethics of AI and autonomous weapons.
Those are conversations we need to be having now.
So what can our listeners do?
Stay informed. Stay engaged.
Just sit on the sidelines.
Right. This is about our future.
So get involved.
And help shape the world you want to live in.
That's a great message to end on.
I think so.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today for this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
Definitely one for the history books.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in.
And keep those brains buzzing.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.